Lads, welcome back to Fusion YGO. It is your boy Christian the Hammer Card Man, and today we are going to bring you the Prank Kids combo tutorial. If you guys have not seen the deck profile for this 60 card pile yet, be sure to check out the video in the top right corner up here, and then come back and watch this so you can see exactly what deck it is you are witnessing here. So we're going to work on a couple of different combos, being 1, 2, and maybe even a 3-card combo. We'll see. So anyways, we're just going to open up with any Prank Kids monster, really. It's preferable to not have fansies, but you can make this work with fansies as well. So really all you got to do is just go ahead and normal summon your Prank Kids monster, which in this case is Dropsies. If you open up a pre-rise map or a Prank Kids place, you'd activate that first to get your search. So we're going to go ahead and link off our Dropsies now into the Link 1 Meow Meow Mew, and then activate Dropsies effect in the graveyard to gain ourselves 1,000 life points, and then special summon a Prank Kids monster. So this is where you want to actually have fansies, because you will be able to chain block his effect with Dodo, and he has the most important one in terms of before summoning from the deck. So just to make sure that all that goes through, you're going to play it safe here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to link to with the fansies and the Meow Meow Mew in order to go into our Dodo Doodle Doo. And at this point, you're going to chainlink 1 fansies, chainlink 2 Dodo Doodle Doo. The last thing you want to do is activate fansies as chainlink 2, and then have your opponent ash the fansies only to imperm the Dodo and just completely screw you over. So with that, now we are going to resolve this chain here, which will allow us to use Dodo. If our opponent doesn't do anything to Dodo, at this point, we are most likely going to use it to search the Pandemonium just to get it to hand right now. But this is why we structure the chains the way we do, because if they do hit your Dodo with an Ash, Imperm, Veiler, whatever, then you just don't get his effect, but instead you would use fansies to dump the Pandemonium to graveyard. So in this case, we're going to add Pandemonium to hand off of Dodo and assume that it just all goes through. So that now fansies can go ahead and dump from our deck to the graveyard. In this case, we're going to dump Prank Kids Plan, so we have follow-up that will help us shuffle all of our resources back into the deck. You could also send place here if you wanted to get the extra monster search, not a problem. And then you can also use fansies to be able to search from your special summon from your deck the Prank Kids Lampsies to our field. So now at this point, your combo is basically over. If you're going first, all you have to do now at this point is just tribute Dodo Doodle Doo to be able to add back the fansies and the Dropsies from your graveyard to your hand. Set your Pandemonium, do whatever other shenanigans you might have, and pass. This doesn't lock you into anything. You have full access to go to a Battle Butler during your opponent's turn, and then also be able to get 3 extra summons off of it for your follow-up plays the next turn, which is just absolutely insane. If your opponent can't fully break your board or get rid of all your Prank Kids monsters, then you're fully safe to go, and you've just got combo all over again without even needing the Meow Meow to be recycled. Let me go and reset, and I'll get you guys into the 2-card combo here. Alright, so the 2-card combo for this deck is opening up a Prank Kids monster, and then any one of these 3 cards over here, whether it be Prank Kids Place, Pandemonium, or another Prank Kids monster. Any of these 3 as your secondary will get you into full combo. We're just going to assume for this sake that it's a Prank Kids Place, because that's going to be the most likely out of all these outside of another Prank Kids monster. So I'll just show you guys kind of how this interaction works out. So just like last time with the combo, we're going to start off by normal summoning our Prank Kids monster, linking it off to go into our Meow Meow Mew, and then activating the Prank Kids in graveyard. In this case, it's Lampsies, so we got to burn our opponent for 500. And now we will get a special summon Prank Kids Fansies from the deck, which will then allow us to immediately follow up by linking these 2 together to make our Dodo Doodle Doo. Once again, we're just going to build the chain the exact same way. This is most of the same setup here, but it's going to end up being a little bit different. So now at this point, we get chainlink 1 fansies, chainlink 2 Dodo. So then now Dodo can search us to add our Prank Kids Pandemonium to our hand, while fansies can just go ahead and dump whatever at this point. Since we opened the place and we searched the Pandemonium, we can just send our plan to graveyard here. And then now with fansies, we will be able to summon out another monster, one that we haven't used yet, so we'll summon out our Dropsies. So now with Dropsies on field, we can go and activate Prank Kids Place to go and search for another name. Once again, another one that we haven't used. In this case, it's going to have to be Roxy's. Unfortunately, this combo does use Roxy, so it is kind of like a 2.5 card combo. So we're just going to add a random inconsequential card to our hand to banish. So now what we can do here is activate the Pandemonium, use the Roxys and the Dropsies together to fuse into our Prank Kids Rocket Ride, which we will now be able to go Chainlink 1, Roxy's, Chainlink 2, Dropsies, and Chainlink 3, Rocket Ride. You don't have to use the Rocket Ride effect, it's just to help chain block, and the Roxy's and Dropsies order doesn't necessarily matter. I prefer using Roxy's as Chainlink 1 though, so you're less likely to draw into another Prank Kids monster, because that's honestly kind of not what you want. So we'll go and get our chain resolve here. Rocket Ride reduces his attack, Dropsies gains us 1,000, and at this point it doesn't even matter what names you summon. So we're going to go ahead and get Fansies, and then we're just going to banish the card in hand, and then draw another one, doesn't matter what it is. And then get our last body from the deck here. Once again, it doesn't matter what ones you summon at this point, it's just preferable if they're Battle Butler names, but they don't have to be. And at this point in time, you are currently stuck into Prank Kids monsters, so do keep that in mind. But now all you have to do here is link 2 with your Dropsies and Fansies, and then you can go into your Bow Wow Bark. And then now you can link your Bow Wow Bark and your Dodo-Doodle-Doo together in order to get your Rip Roaring Roaster. And then at the very end of this, you distribute the Rocket Ride and target your Dodo and your Bow Wow Bark. You can summon those both back to field. Zones don't really matter in this scenario, because all you're going to do is you're going to tribute off your Dodo right away. And you're going to make sure that you add back your Pandemonium on the first one, and then just one Battle Butler name. I'm going to choose Fansies. So you have to add back Pandemonium and a Battle Butler name with this case. Set your Pandemonium and pass turn. So that way you have a Battle Butler name in hand, a fresh card, plus whatever else you add in your hand. Pandemonium set, and a Bow Wow Bark. So basically what you do is during your opponent's turn, when it's their main phase, the best way to play this is to Chainlink 1 your Pandemonium, and then if your opponent doesn't have a response, Chainlink 2 your Bow Wow Bark. So that way on resolution, your Bow Wow Bark will resolve first. You can add back your Dropsies and your Lampsies in this case, your last 2 Battle Butler names. And then once it hits Pandemonium, now you can fuse all 3 of these to get your Battle Butler out, and then your extra special summons as well. That's just the way I like to play. You don't necessarily have to build the chains like that. You can definitely Bow Wow Bark like as soon as possible. That's totally fine. I just like doing it in that order. And then, of course, you get your 3 extra special summons as well for the next turn. So now you have a double Raigeki, a Harpy's Feather Duster, and then potentially follow up for next turn, which is just awesome. This is just why Prank Kids is absolutely insane. So let me go ahead and reset here, and I'll show you guys a hand with the adventurer stuff. Actually, we'll just do a test hand really quick. I think it's the smart choice. So let me reset, and I will go and open up a 5-card hand to show you guys how I pilot this deck. Alright, so just finishing up shuffling the deck here. I've already gone like 4 or 5 times on this. Let me just do a little cut here, and then we'll draw a top 5. So we're going to open up with Prank Kids Lampsies, Rite of Aramesir, Puri-Rise Map, Twin Twisters, and Fansies. So the ultimate, this is actually like a pretty good hand, I'm not going to lie. Twin Twisters is kind of sucky if we're going first, but if it's going second, it's pretty good. So what we'd actually do here is we're going to want to try to bait out the Ash right away, because we want to make sure that our adventure engine is going to be online. So we're going to activate Puri-Rise Map. If our opponent ashes that, great. If not, we just get a Fancy to our hand for follow-up, and they won't know that we have the second one in our hand either, which is really good. So we'll just assume it does go through, but once again, this is just how I'd play it, because you do have to activate that at the start of your main phase 1 like you would Extrav. So once again, it's really good for Ash bait. If you guys watch the profile, it's just good to make sure you get that out of the way. And now we can just immediately follow that up here by going with the Rite of Aramesir to kind of keep us safer from hand traps. So now we're going to be able to activate this to summon out a token. Yes, I have Prank Kids tokens because it's just awesome. And then we'll be able to activate Fateful Adventure from the deck. Alright, so here goes Fateful Adventure. Alright, so at this point now, we have a couple of different options. If we want to get our Omni Negate right away, we could use Fateful Adventure to get the Griffin Rider and just send like a Fansies to the graveyard. Doesn't really matter. But I think what's going to be the best play in this case, since Fateful Adventure can chain block for us, we don't need to worry too much about the Fansies being chain blocked by the Dodo at this point. So what we can do in this case is we can just normal summon our Fansies and then link it off into our Meow Meow. Basically kind of do the same combo we have been doing, but we'll have protection. Because now what we can do is we can Chainlink 1 Fansies and then Chainlink 2 Fateful Adventure, so our opponent doesn't have anything they can do against Fansies. So this means that Fateful Adventure will, before we do anything else, be able to get us our Draco back to hand. Let me go ahead and find that. Alright, so we add the Draco back. Most likely an opponent's not really going to Ash that on turn 1. There's just kind of no reason to. And then now we can use our Fansies effect. Unfortunately, we don't know if our Dodo's going to resolve, so like it doesn't really matter. Well, our Dodo will resolve since we'll have the adventure stuff. So what we're going to go ahead and do then is with Fansies, we're just going to go ahead and send the place for right now. Actually, no, let's send plan because we already have extra Prank Kids names in our hands, so we don't need to worry about that. And since we already have Lampsies, we'll just go ahead and summon Dropsies. All right, so now on resolution of that, we can go and activate our Fateful Adventure here to search for our Wandering Griffin Rider, send the Draco back to the grave, and then use Draco Back's effect to equip the token. And then as a quick effect, we can also special summon the Wandering Griffin Rider. So now we have a negate, and we have our full Prank Kids combo on board here, which means we can go ahead and go with the Dropsies and the Meow Meow. And actually, this might have been a mistake. It might have been better to, instead of Dropsies, actually go with the Roxies, because we'll be able to summon Dropsies off of Roxy's effect, which I think will just be much better in this situation. So I'll shuffle up in anticipation of that draw, just to be safe. Alright, so now we'll go and link 2 with the Meow Meow and the Roxies. That will get us into our Dodo Doodle Doo. At this point, if we really wanted to be safe, we could definitely chain block our Dodo here, but I think it's probably better to make him Chain Link 2 anyways. So Chain Link 2 Dodo, Chain Link 1 Roxies. We'll go and resolve now. Once again, if we need it, we can shuffle the Wandering Griffin Rider back into the deck if our opponent does hand trap us at this point. So Dodo gets to add Pandemonium, and Roxy's will get to banish one and then draw one. So we're just going to banish the Twin Twisters in this case because it's kind of a dead card in our hand. We'll draw one. Look at that. We even drew to the Lord of the Heavenly Prison, which is just awesome. So now what we can do from here is Roxy's will be able to summon the Dropsies, and we already have full Battle Butler in our hand, which is just nuts. So at this point now, all we really have to do is we can just go Pandemonium right now. If we feel like it, we can go Pandemonium, or we could just set it and pass. Like, we have different options here. So what we could do is we could actually tribute off the Dodo at this point in time to be able to add the plan and, I mean, like, really anything back to our hand. Like, we can just add a Fancies, say, just for fun. Because then what this will allow us to do as well, it'll give us more set cards, so our opponent will have less options if they're playing Cyclone. If they're not playing Cyclone, our Lord of the Heavenly Prison will protect us. And we can actually just do a lot of really fun stuff with this. So what we could actually do is, yeah, once again, we'll just set the Pandemonium, we can set the plan, and then activate our Lord of the Heavenly Prison and pass. So it's actually, like, really, really cool because with Pandemonium, you're not going to get locked out of your Lord of the Prison. So yeah, during your opponent's turn, when you flip either the plan or the Pandemonium, you could actually be able to use your Lord of the Heavenly Prison in response. The only thing that's going to suck is, at this point, you're not really going to have any zones. Like, unless you got rid of the Wandering Griffin Rider. Say he got shuffled back into the deck because you used him for an Omni Negate. So then you use Pandemonium and you get Lord of the Heavenly Prison out. You can use your Lord of the Heavenly Prison to search for a follow-up spell or trap card. In this case, you could probably just go for, I don't know, you could probably go for Rite of Aramesia if you want to follow up there. I don't think that'd really do much good in all honesty, but yeah, you'd probably go for the Fusion Destiny at this point, since you weren't able to use Verte on turn 1. I mean, you definitely could have. You could have gone into the Verte if you wanted, but it wouldn't really be necessary at that point. You had enough set up that it's not too big a deal. So you'd be able to get that, have your Lord of the Heavenly Prison, then your Prank Kids Pandemonium resolves, and you'll be able to Fusion Summon with your Lampsies, Fancies, and Dropsies. You'd basically have to go Battle Butler on the EMZ, and then, yeah, you'd have enough zones at that point. And then, I mean, if you really wanted to, after that, you could use your Battle Butler, get him off the field, and then Prank Kids Plan with the other stuff and do a Bow Wow Bark for protection. There's just a whole bunch of different options with this deck. I definitely encourage you guys to experiment around with it and see what you think of it. I really, really enjoy this deck. I have a lot of fun things going on with it. If you enjoy this combo tutorial, guys, let me know down in the comments if there's any combos you think I might have missed or not covered. Please let me know as well, and if you guys think that I have just a crappy list, I'm also down to talk about that as well. I just love having discussions, and I look forward to hearing from you guys all in the comments. So thank you all once again so much. You all are wonderful for all the support. Don't forget to get us to 1K subs by the end of the year so we can do some giveaways. And then, of course, if you guys like the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. That's all I got for you today, lads. Thank you once again so much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. And remember, good fun. Have luck.